Okay guys, MCU Collector here. I have a new video. I know it's been a while. I only had the War Machine and the Far From Home Spider-Man. So I finally did get the rest of the Hulk Build-A-Figure wave, the Avengers Wave 4 for Endgame. So first up is going to be Rescue. I'm only going to be doing a couple of the videos tonight. I'm going to try and get through Shuri, but I am really tired. I know I haven't been as active through YouTube, through Facebook, through Instagram, Twitter. I did get a new job, which has really been taking up majority of my time, so I won't be able to post as often as I would like to. And then gone are the days where I'm up, you know, during the entire day reviewing a whole entire wave. I just won't have that kind of time anymore, unfortunately. But here we are. We're going to get right to it. So here we have the Rescue figure. I think this is going to be one of the most popular figures in the wave, along with like Beta Ray Bill, which is going to be a great one. So here at Rescue, you can see we have the back accessory there. We have the figure. We have the torso piece of the Hulk. Build-A-Figure, Avengers logo, Marvel's Rescue. Up at the top, we got an A, and then in the corner, you can see Build-A-Figure Hulk. Awesome side artwork, looking very good. Here we have another look at the Rescue. It is not the figure, I forget because they keep changing the package. All the figures in the wave, the Hulk Build-A-Figure. Let's take a look at that bio. Marvel's Rescue, from CEO of Stark Industries to powered by Stark Tech, Pepper Potts protects world order in her own rescue suit designed by Tony Stark. So very cool. Awesome. Here is the UPC for all you guys there. As you can see, a price tag. It came from a local comic shop. I don't know what the actual street date is for these. I'm not sure if there even is a street date, but here it is. Let's get her opened up. All right, here is the Rescue figure out of the package, and I must say, it is a very, very good figure. I love this thing. Now, one thing that threw me off, and I didn't know this until I opened the package, is these flaps in the back. And I don't know why I didn't even think of this before, especially because I know it comes with this back piece and these flaps go up. So these flaps do not move. So essentially, it's the same backpack piece. It's just this one, the flaps are molded up. So those do not move whatsoever. So you want to be careful that you don't drop the figure while you have this ported onto the back, because, you know, there's a chance those could break off. But pretty cool. I mean, even those holes in there, they're actual holes, so you can see right through them. So that is pretty cool. So I really like the way that looks. So here in this video, I'll be going over the articulation, of course. I'll show you some close-up image looks at the figure, and then I'm also going to compare to the Pepper Potts from the Iron Man 3-pack in the Marvel Studios, the first 10 years line. The comic Rescue figure that was only released as a Marvel Unlimited subscription plus subscription exclusive, and I don't remember which year it was, but that figure released. We never got the unmasked Pepper Potts head that was originally shown at Comic-Con one year, but we have that, so I'm going to do those comparisons and all that. Here we have the Hulk Build-A-Figure piece. It is just the torso. I will be placing that over here in the corner, and then once we go through all the figures from the wave, then we will look at the Hulk Build-A-Figure. It will be the last video in the series. So the only accessory, again, Rescue comes with is this back piece, and as we take a closer look at the figure, I'll also take a closer look at this backpack piece. So let's zoom in and take a look. Okay, so here is a closer look at the Rescue figure, and you can see that there's awesome sculpted detail and line work throughout the entire figure. I mean, they went through a lot of the sculpting, as you can see. Now, there's a lot of that marbleization in the plastic, and then we'll probably get into a debate as far as what the color of this plastic is. Sometimes it looks a purple color to me, other times it looks like a blue color, so I think it's just kind of purple-blue. Kind of go with whatever you say, an indigo color kind of thing, but it does look very good, and I do like the way the marbleization actually looks, because it kind of gives it that shine metallic look, or it helps bring out that metallic look, since, you know, it is supposed to be kind of a metal armor piece. So that looks very good. The head sculpt there. So looking at this backpack piece, so it's just silver inside. There's a little bit of a darker gray in there. Again, there aren't flaps at all. It just ports into the back of the figure. As you can see, there's the port there, and it just plugs right on in. You got the same information, 0049 and rescue. Now that is up for debate on what the 49 means. To me, what that means is this is the Mark 49, because we got the Mark 50. We had Mark 47 in Homecoming. Then there was no 48, 49. Everyone assumed that the Hulkbuster Mark II would be 49 or 48, so that must be 48. And here we have 49. However, the Hot Toys version does say 49. The Cos Baby by Hot Toys says 48. What all that really means, we have no idea. But my understanding is that it would be Mark 49. Now the question comes up as well, he did this after the events of Infinity War. He's been building it, unless he started way before. Now we don't know for sure if this suit is full nanotech or not. I like to think nanotech starts with 50 and up. Who knows? It could just be one of those things where they throw on a 49, gets everybody talking. That could be what it is, so we don't really know. But again, the figure just looks awesome. All the sculpted lines throughout the entire figure. Looks very good. Now let's zoom out and take a look at the articulation. Okay, so the rescue figure measures out to be just over 6 1/4 inches, and in measuring the Pepper Potts, she is just under 6 1/4. So the rescue figure is taller, so it does kind of give it that believable look that, hey, Pepper Potts is wearing an armor suit. Now, the size of the figure doesn't necessarily match along with that, especially these huge feet that Pepper Potts has. So it doesn't work exactly, but it does give you a good idea since it is a little bit taller. Now, let's take a look at the articulation. So she can look all the way down to an unnatural way. She can look all the way up because the head sits on there real weird. You could see, kind of get some shift motion in there. It feels a little loose as far as the swivel. I mean, it's not really going to move on its own, but as you move it, it does feel real loose in there. So you obviously, of course, we'll get a full swivel, and there is some pivoting in there. Shoulders go up like so. You got to really work in the shoulder part. So we know with like Iron Man figures, actually, well, the older Iron Man figures, how they did kind of the shoulder pieces. It's a little bit different even from like Captain Marvel, where Captain Marvel had another piece on top of her shoulder, and then as you moved it around, it fit over the shoulder blade of the torso piece. This doesn't do that. It just kind of tucks in on its own, so you can get the arms up that high, and you could fudge it a little bit to get it up, but you get a full rotation there as well. Upper bicep swivel, and you get a double jointed elbow. Look at that. So we don't get a lot of female double jointed elbows. So here we have Rescue. We had the quantum suit, the time travel suit in Endgame, the Black Widow Nebula figure. This Pepper Potts, the right arm had a double jointed elbow because it was bigger and it has the armor. Fun fact, the comic figure has a double jointed elbow. So we always talked about female figures in the comics and they don't get double jointed elbows. That one actually does, or did, at the time. Go through there. The wrist swivels, but this armor piece gets in the way of it a little bit, but you can kind of work around that, and they're both wrists hinge the same way. We get a diaphragm joint because, again, female figure, that's what we get. You get pivot motion that way, pivot motion that way, and let's see, the front, very little. Going back, too much, I would say, and that's with the back piece on there. If you had the back piece off, it would technically go a little bit further, and that's how it looks without the back piece, but you don't need it to be on there. But in the movie, the suit did have kind of this big back piece. It was like that, so we'll keep it on there. There's no waist swivel. Most female figures do not have waist swivel. One thing of the design of the leg, so you see how this hip joint there how that looks. It comes up, so it's kind of like the comic look. See the red over the silver? They kind of did that, and I was worried that that would really hinder some of the articulation, but believe it or not, when you do the legs, spread them out, she's not going to go too far out. It goes that far, which is good because it's a person in a metal suit of armor. This part that kind of comes up actually still tucks into that hip joint, so that's not a problem. It does not hinder the articulation whatsoever, and in fact, there is a swivel inside there, and that's kind of how you see that too. So you can swivel the leg around. You can kick the leg up that high. You're not really going to get it to move back a whole lot. You get a double jointed knee, which works out great. And one thing that I will complain about this figure is I do not like the ankle pivot that it has. So it has this weird bulky armor piece here on the back that doesn't give you a whole lot of hinge motion getting it down. You can see it only goes so far that way. Up goes quite a bit. I would say too much, but the pivot, depending on how you have it, well, see now the pivot really wants to work out well. So the pivot is there. I don't know, there's something about it when you're trying to get it to stand that I don't like it, because it's almost like on this disc. Some of the other figures that I remember having this, it's like the old Nebula and Gamora figures, I think were kind of similar to that. And at the time, I didn't really care for it. I think mainly my biggest issue is because it doesn't really hinge down a whole lot. But, you know, see, this one doesn't want to pivot as much, depending on how you get it. So this armor piece here that goes over the ankle a little bit is going to get in the way. So you have to make sure to hinge the foot a certain way to even be able to use that ankle pivot. So that's interesting. So there is the articulation. Now let's do some comparison to head swaps. Okay, so Rescue and Pepper Potts together. Now, I believe JC's already reviewed the figure. I have not had a chance to watch his review of it, but I have seen some pictures, so I know, we do know that the Pepper Potts head can be switched and popped onto the Rescue figure. You know, it looks like the back piece is going to get in the way because of the hair. And there it pops on, but if you ask me, that sits way too high, and that's because to begin with, I think the neck was a little too tall. Now the helmet, you can see the ball peg goes on in there very deep into the head, so that's kind of by design. So I don't like the way this looks. It can work, you can kind of fudge it, but I don't like how it looks. I'll pop that off because you can see that that neck portion is very high. So when we pop this head back on there, it really hides the neck quite a bit. And for fun, you see that works, and you can see that there's no neck because of how far down it sits. But that fits on there if you wanted to kind of kit bash something. Not sure why you would, but you could. So Pepper Potts' head does go on the Rescue figure. Okay, and here we have the comic and movie version of Rescue side by side. You can see the movie version is a little bit taller. The MCU for Avengers Endgame, they did change up the color scheme for Pepper Potts, whereas this one, you know, really looks like, kind of resembles more of an Iron Man, almost like the Extremis suit, I would say. It's very similar, but there you go there. The sculpt of this 100% new sculpt, and I'm surprised, you know, originally I think the figure was canceled, then they decided to release it as that Marvel Unlimited Plus subscription. So there you have it. So there is my review. You guys let me know what you guys think of the Rescue figure. Will you guys be picking it up if you see it? Let me know, guys. I'm very curious. If you guys like the video, also please give me a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button if you have not done so already. And as always, guys, thank you for watching as I pick up Pepper Potts to end out and close the video. And there she goes, just falling again. Oh well, thanks guys.